Good morning. 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. I saw an advertisement for a new Starbucks drink that looks like it was made for me. A nitro cold brew, cinnamon caramel cream. I think it's just cold foam drink, but nitro, which means no ice, which is my main issue with the regular cold foam drinks, is that all the ice, and I usually get light ice, but I didn't even know it was an option to not get any at all. So we're gonna try it out. I'm very excited. A living situation update is that I don't think it's happening anytime soon. My friend that asked me to live with her, basically she got a boyfriend and I haven't seen her since. So it's been weeks and now she's like home for the next 10 days with him. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm happy for her, but yeah. Another update. I got back with my ex. Hold on, do I gotta get gas? Ah! Yep, you gotta get gas. Because I am planning on sitting in the parking lot for about an hour with my car running, which means that I will need gas. So, okay, first stop gas station, second stop Starbucks. It smells very cinnamony. The guy who handed me it in the drive-thru was like, let me know how it is, because I don't want to try it. Is it better than a caramel cream cold brew? No. Oh, we're leaning down. I had to take off my jacket because sometimes it's so bulky. Ooh, that looks amazing. Okay, the cream is great. The main thing I've noticed about myself is that I always have stuff on my face. Always. But anyways, yeah, I'm back with my ex. Very excited about it. We dated for like almost 3 years. And then we broke up for over a year. So we haven't been together for a very long time. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm very happy. Reflecting on the whole dating thing, I do actually feel like Hinge is a good place to meet people if you want to. It might take a while. You can't expect to meet a quality person maybe on the first day. Just give it like a month, because I feel like if you try it for like a week or like a day, you might not find the right one, because Hinge, I swear, they hold back like the quality people. Give it a while and you might just meet a couple of people, and don't put pressure on yourself to be like in love with everybody that you go on a date with, because I think that's probably bad for you. Just like go out there, do fun things that you would have fun doing regardless of whether or not you're with some stranger. Enjoy the thought experiment of it, because for me the most intriguing part about it was that it seems like some dystopian human experiment, and so that part to me is like fun to be a part of. But anyways, my heart is back where it is been all along, so I'm excited about that. It's staring back at me and it's looking marvelous. Something that I watched recently that made me cry is Google Shia LaBeouf on Love. I'll link it below so that you guys can tell me what you think, or if you watch it, or if you're interested at all. He tells the most heart-wrenching story about true love with his now wife, then ex-girlfriend, who they hadn't talked in like a long time, but it's just talks about, I don't know, it's like makes me emotional to think about it, because there are certain situations, oh gosh, I didn't used to be an emotional person at all, like in college, not at all, but now I'm like so emotional, I don't know what it is. He tells a story about how he went to rehab after all of those allegations came out about sexual assault and all that stuff that he did that was terrible. But it just talks about how basically his entire family, friend community all abandoned him. There are boundaries with people and lines you need to draw with people, but from the perspective of somebody who had been just completely abandoned and kind of just found themselves in this place where there's nothing left. He was talking about how he's been at rehab for a long time. They have a family day every week in rehab where everybody's family FaceTimes in essentially, and everybody has like family that will do it. And just for him, continuously week after week, there's nobody there. Not even his mom, not his dad, nobody would be calling in. And then he just ends up like not even wanting to go because it's so soul crushing. One day he goes there and it's like his ex at the time, Mia Goth, and she's just like they don't have any much to say to each other, but she just like shows up, and how much that meant to him when he had like nothing. I just think about a lot how in today's society, or like in America especially, we have these really hard lines with people and friendships. I think it's good and it's bad, because like everybody needs to have boundaries and lines, and I think boundaries are an insanely good thing, and I think a lot of people don't have enough boundaries. But with like family and friends, it's like people come in and out so quickly. To have somebody who's there for you forever and like shows up when you have nothing to offer, like he talks about in the video, it's just so impactful to have just that action of friendship and relationship and like love. And so yeah, I don't know, it makes me emotional to think about it, because that's true love. Like what he says in the video, that's true love, is like when you have nothing and then somebody shows up for you. I think about this a lot because I have a lot of like friendships that just didn't work out for one reason or another, and I just don't think that you ever really lose love for somebody that you truly loved at one point. I think it kind of just fades away. If they were like integral into your life, there's gonna be some sort of fondness there, I think, just for ever, and maybe it just slowly fades into the background. But like, you never unknow somebody, and I kind of thought that when you grow up, you just kind of like forget about people. And there's certain people that I like wasn't super close with that I've kind of just faded into the back, but I just don't ever think that I'm gonna lose that like fondness of them, regardless of not whether we've not talked in a really long time or fallen out or whatever. But I have this one friend that I was like best friends with in college, so close, like best friend I've ever had in my life, and we just fell out. It was complicated and messy and hurtful in both ways, I'm sure. Pretty much I still wanted to be friends the entire time, and she like dropped me. It's kind of how it happened. And I don't necessarily like blame her for that. I think it's just she had a lot of hard stuff happen in her life, and I just don't know that she had capacity for me, to be honest. Like, I don't know. She just ended up shutting me out, and I think it was probably just a consequence of like everything building up in her life, and it was just easier to close me out than let me in, and I don't know. But it was really hurtful for me because I was like, she was my best friend, and I didn't want ever for that to happen. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but watching that Shia LaBeouf thing makes me think of her. I didn't know we were getting deep, but watching that video makes me think of her and all of my friends that I'm so thankful for. A lot of times it's really easy to believe that you have no friends when you're mainly alone, when you mainly do stuff by yourself. And maybe you don't have that many friends. Maybe you don't have just one person that you can text and tell about something random. I think if you have one person that you can talk to, just one, I think that's, you're doing good. And if you have one person, like, be thankful for them and look at that and be like, dang, I have a great friend right here. My friends are awesome. Because it's like an internal messaging system when you tell yourself, I have no friends, when really you have somebody that you can text. You have somebody that like maybe texts you every once in a while. Maybe not. People are really bad about that. But also, we're so quick to drop people these days, and it's so quick to be like, oh, they didn't text me back, or like they haven't been texting me very well, or they haven't been calling lately. And then we drop them when we don't know what's going on in their lives. And honestly, like, we're so imperfect that it doesn't make sense to drop people if you really care about them, unless they've like significantly wronged you, or maybe they're like a serial killer or something like that. But you have to give people grace. We're not perfect. And it's just like, if you're dropping all these people all the time because like they slighted you in some insignificant way, it's just like, care about people more than that. I'm like so used to the mindset of like, they're not putting in enough effort, therefore you need to drop them. Well, maybe they're going through like a really hard time in their lives where they just don't have the capacity to put in enough effort. I think there is a limit, and I think sometimes I tend to let them go past the limit or whatever, but I just really don't believe in like dropping people. I don't. I think I have done it before, and there's a time and a place. And I think you have to be self-aware and you need to know your boundaries. But I just think that, I don't know. I really didn't expect to go on this rant at all. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe call your friend that didn't text you back 12 times one more time. Maybe don't. I don't know. That's probably a bad idea if you text them 12 times. Don't let them run over you, obviously, but just don't ever hate them if they ever come back and finally text you again, because you don't know what was going on in their life, and like maybe they're terrible. And honestly, life is just better if you forgive and forget and you move on. And I feel like if you hold that anger in your heart for them, like that's first of all doing way more damage to you than it is to them. And second of all, like, what's the point? If you truly have no anger or like frustration towards them, you shouldn't have a problem with like being able to become their friend again. I don't know. But there is limits, right? I'm a very big proponent on boundaries, but I am also just a big proponent on grace. So for me, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable saying this just because people have a lot of preconceived notions of Christianity, and I know that it's caused a lot of people like hurt and judgment and all this stuff. It's hard for me to talk about religion sometimes, but I think that a lot of the reason that I believe this is because I'm a Christian. I believe that above all, I think the Bible talks about reconciliation and like redemption, and it's just, to me, it's such a great story of just redemption over and over and over again. I don't know. I hesitate to talk about it sometimes just because I know that a lot of churches are imperfect and have hurt a lot of people. And so I feel like a lot of people are just shut off immediately by Christians or Christianity because of all of the things that have happened through that. And I get it because it's happened to me. Like, I've been hurt by the church and I've been hurt by Christians immensely, but basically I can't read the Bible itself, taking away all the Christians, all the churches. I can't read the Bible and not read redemption and hope and love. Like, it's in there, and it gives me hope. So I think that's where like my base and belief in all of that I was talking about earlier, that's what it's based in. I don't know. I hope I'm not freaking you out, but yeah. This was supposed to be a lighthearted video about Starbucks. To sum it up, I'm back with my ex and watched the Shia LaBeouf video. The guy who posted it put some like sappy background music to it, which I wish wasn't there, but it's still good. You'll get the point. So, cheers.